sent me to school on the west side. I kicked me out of there, and I went deeper in the west side. So being bused or taking RTD bus to school is what kicked that off. Meeting them, hanging out with the riders, and having them join my crew is how we got around the city so much. You know, and then later, I traveled a lot. I think a lot of the guys that stayed in LA ended up jumped into gangs or killed or in prison. I traveled a lot. I left California. I was lucky to be able to travel a lot. I went to Mexico a lot. I got to go to, I pretty much went all over the world, Europe and Latin America and all over the United States. So I was always never in a corner just hanging out. I think in Los Angeles, if you hang out in a corner long enough, someone's going to shoot at you. Or you're going to go to jail for something.
When you create TKO, what school are you attending? And can you give us a list of the schools you've attended?
I'd rather not.
Okay.
And I'll leave a roll call, a paper trail, but it was north, south, east, and west, and downtown.
How would you describe TKO's early beginnings? Were they just a tagging crew? Did you have aspirations of becoming a piecing crew? Was it just like a...
Just bombers, man. Like I used to see, I used to get off the bus and see other crews, older crews, like, guys from M7, just different crews right back then, the AWRs at that point were like, kind of like, NASA crew or AM7s, the UTIs, the crews like that. And I used to see them paint, but I never walked up to them and be like, oh, let me hit the wall. I just, I preferred either hitting the buses or tagging, I can't stand when people don't really piece and they want to jump into a wall just because they do graffiti like it's some fucking fun shit, instead of going all business, If I got into piecing, it was only because I was on probation and I couldn't bomb a lot. So then I was thinking, well, if I can't bomb a lot, I can go out to all these different walls in the hood and get permission to my name on it. It was always still my name. I never went to a legal wall and be like, oh, let me do a portrait of Hello Kitty or some fucking shit. It was always like, I'm gonna do my name. But I noticed that the walls that would stay up longer and I would get more permission if there was characters involved. So then I started meeting guys that did characters and dealing with their artistic garbage for fucking so many goddamn years until now I don't need nobody. Now I just do it all on my own. Yeah, I got people I paint with, but they'll tell you, they go to a wall with me or a train with me, they could sit there for hours and not do a goddamn thing, except for pass me a can, and I really don't like to paint with anybody that's outside of my crew, and if I do paint with somebody that's not in my crew, it's somebody I've known for a long time, To me, it's not a social thing, it's a for now especially, it's more of a fun thing, I want to just do creative stuff, and reason why I like change right now, at this part of my career, tomorrow we're just going back to throw-ups. The next, we'll go into doing, major production. It doesn't matter. But right now, it's because you can do whatever you want, right? Like if I have permission, if I have a permission wall, I got to do what the owner of that wall will agree with. You paint a chain, you have all creative license to do whatever you want. With nobody to tell you, oh, dude, that's not cool, they're gonna bust it. No, it's not a fucking chain, it's gone.
In the early beginnings of TKO, what was it like trying to establish your crew? How did you go about earning respect and making a name for the crew? Were people crossing you out early on?
LA has always been weird like that, dude. There's always been, like, haters or jealousy or just fucking idiots, trying to make a name for themselves. So there's always going to be that, and there's always been that. But in the beginning, like I said, it was me going with people I went to school with, and they saw me pointing it up a lot. They saw I was committed, so they're like, yo, this guy, let's just go with this guy. He's fucking going hard. Let's go hard. And that's what you got to do. Like, my best advice to anybody that is a leader of a crew, you go hard. You go out there and you fucking smash. And then the people with you will smash with you. Don't be that guy that sends other fucking kids to do shit that you don't got the balls to do. If you're a leader of any crew and you ain't out there hitting with your boys, then what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like give it up, you know what I mean? Like, you need to go out there with them too. And yeah, you can take breaks, you can retire for a while, whatever have you. You know, people have kids, like I said, jobs or whatever. But I was never gonna let somebody do something I wasn't gonna be able to do. You know.
What were the requirements for someone joining TKO back then? Did they have to show you heart? Did they have to show you talent writing? How would you go about recruiting these new members?
Heart is number one. You know, you can learn artistic style and art, but if you're a punk, you can't get taught that. You're gonna run when somebody needs you, and you're not gonna really put in work for their name. You know what I mean? And that's what graffiti is really. It's just one person getting up and getting that name up and making sure you're the only one with that name. And it's just marketing and promotions really. This is all one marketing thing after another, you know. This leads up to the art show. The art show leads up to something like a brand or a toy or something else being sold. And all that generates money for you to paint more graffiti in other countries. You know, that's all. You just got to put it all together in one thing. I would have never did it. Like I said, I would have never did all of it if it didn't all match. This chair is in some of the paintings that's going to be there. This costume is part of that, you know. So it's all a mixture. You got to blend all these social media things together, you know.
Coming up in graffiti with your name and your crew, was it more important for you to get the crew up or your name?
Look, it's all about you. Graffiti is all about you. Now, that's what's going to pump up your boys to get up too. And then together as a crew, you'll get that fame. I'd rather have a crew of all superstars than a crew with one superstar and a bunch of dudes just fucking drinking beer, hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, you make all of them superstars, but they're all individual record deals like the Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? Like, all of them are, you know, stars in their own right, or will be future stars, you know? That's what makes a crew.